Chet, look at that guy on the wrong side of the highway. He's going to kill somebody.
God!
Hey! Hey!
What's going on? Joker wants to race. All right, come on, let's go.
Put your window down!
He wants something. He's probably drunk.
You're going the wrong way!
What?
You're going the wrong way!
We're going. Yeah, how could he know? Thank you.
Let's go, Captain Lindpress. Try again. Hey, everybody, is there a window open? I feel a draft. Wanted a kiss and call your mother. Oh, that was a good one.
Hey, prehistoric forest.
Well, hello, everybody. It is 3 p.m. It is the Dennis and Andy show on this fine Wednesday afternoon. It's a little cool out. Summer's coming to an end. What are we at? Oh, my God, it's only 78. Feels great outside. I'm sure this one thinks it's still way too hot.
78, it's much nicer than 90. So I'll take that as a win.
You'll take that as a win.
That's right.
That's
Guys,
good.
it is Wednesday, new comic book day. I did my usual, went and stopped at my favorite local comic shop to grab my new comics for the week. And boy, it was an average week. There were most of them were continuing titles, not a lot of new stuff this week, but some of them are coming to an end. So it's always great when a conclusion's around the corner.
It was an average week, Dennis said. Something his wife Susie tells me about Dennis every day. It's just average. Hello, Kevin. Nice and early, I see. Dan Genovese, Leg Kick, Prater, Amish Ninja, JP, Roca in the house, Joe Bernardo, Sleeping Psychopathy, Well Read, Prater, Stephen De La Vega. My God, look at all these people here. Bunch of people. What do we got here? This is a long one, so I'll read it because I'm too far away. Hello, Andy, Dennis, Art, and all. Hope everyone is well, despite the passings of Greg Ken, Peter Marshall, and Phil Donahue. 1 week more till Power Rangers Day. Wait, who's Greg Ken? I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is? Peter Marshall doesn't ring a bell. And Phil Donahue's the one that I do know and heard of. So, Well Red says, wait, that's not the one. Andy talks to Dennis's wife. I mean, she calls me nightly to just vent about having to live with this guy and how usually, you know, when you've been married for 30 plus years, it goes by like that. But she said it's like a slow moving train and like just barreling to a wall. And I'm like, hey, Susie, I don't know what to tell you, but TV's on and I'd like to watch it.
Greg Kinband. Yeah, I loves in Jeopardy.
Oh, no
baby.
Way. Oh,
yeah,
I know who that is.
Thank you, Eric. I did not see that, though. So that went right through my, usually I'm pretty good at keeping up with that. So, hey, thank you for saying that.
How old was he? Yeah, that was a good song too.
It was pretty close to a one-hit wonder as far as I know.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was a good one. It was a cool video too. The big tentacle coming out, ripping out the wood peeping and smashing it, stabbing it. 75.
Oh, that's not that old. I mean, Phil Donahue was 88, so he had a nice long run. He had another hit, which escapes me, a la one-hit wonder. See? So I was telling Dennis last night, for those of you that watch the professionals, it was game show night again. Aaron hosted, as he always does. He always brings out the great games and stuff for game show night. And one of the topics was my opinion. So I think I was the first one to take that one because I'm like, all right, what is this, my opinion? Just like it says. Aaron's like, well, it's kind of like, how well do you know your host? I'm going to name 3 things, and you tell me which one I think is the best in his opinion. So I'll give you one of the exact questions. Right now, I'm Aaron asking you this.
Okay.
In my opinion, which one of these movies do I hate the most? Jaws 4, Star Trek 5, or Superman 4? In my opinion, which one of those?
Star Trek 5.
Damn, look at that. You nailed it. Nailed it.
Yep.
And you know what? And that was Art, I think, that got it. And when Art gets here, because, he's late, but that's because it's Art. I believe that was Art that got it right. And he actually rationalized it really well. Maybe it was Dan. Now I can't remember. But here's the rationale. And I never even gave it this much thought. He was like, well, if you saw Jaws 3, which sucked,
yeah,
I can't imagine you saw Jaws 4. And if you saw, what was the other one? Superman 3, which was bad.
Yep.
Once again, can't see you seeing that. But you're a Star Trek fan, so after 4, I'm sure you saw 5.
Heck yeah, all the Trekkies.
And that was the rationale. So we got it right. Now, what you guys don't know is off screen, we chat for like maybe another 15, 20 minutes, just kind of catch up, whatever, talk about our great fans, you guys watching and everything. And Aaron's like, well, here's a question that I actually deleted from it. And I was like, oh, what? For my opinion? He goes, yeah. I was like, well, what is it? Now I'm dying to know what you didn't deem appropriate. He said, in my opinion, anal or missionary. And I was like, we know you so well. We know exactly which one that would have been. So good thing you took that one out, Aaron. So let them know that I told you guys the secret question when you watch them on the Graybeards later, and see if you can get them to answer it.
Yeah, good luck with that one. Well, so, wait, what are they doing on Graybeards? I had seen the,
Graybeards, I voted for Jim Steranko.
I think it's Steranko.
It is, yeah. I voted Steranko. I think Larry Stroman is supposed to be joining the show today, so that should be good. Joe was watching. He said there was no Superman 4, there was no Jaws 5, there was unfortunately Star Trek 5. Right. There was no there was no Jaws 5 though. Was there? There was a Jaws 4.
Yeah.
But there was no 5.
There's no 5.
Right. There actually wasn't a 5. But there was a Superman 4.
I see what you're Jaws saying. 3 in 3D. I remember doing that and I was like, oh, because I was a big fan of the original Jaws. Jaws 2 was really great. And I was like, yep, Jaws 3, they're giving us 3D. This is worth going to see at the movie theater. The old red and blue, I remember putting them on, and wow, boy, that was bad.
Plug would have been good, and I bet. Well, I was going to say I bet Aaron's disappointed because he loves Plug, but he loves Steranko just as much. Now I'm curious. I'm assuming Aaron will pick. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the chick's name, but Julia Louis-Dreyfus played her in the live action. The chick from S.H.I.E.L.D. that has the dark hair with the white streak in it. I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron doesn't pick her to draw. I bet he will. Was Dennis Quaid in Jaws 3 3D, or was he in 4? He was in one of them.
Maybe it was 3D.
Yeah, I'm blanking on which one.
I saw it when it came out, and that's the end of that. Never even bought it. Even when it comes up on like the $5 sales where you can own it, nope.
Won't do it.
It's staying away.
1 and 2.
Same thing with Superman. I knocked myself back down to just Superman 1 and 2. And Star Trek, I do own Star Trek 5, but it is by far the worst of all the Trek movies. And of course, that is the one William Shatner directed.
That's true. Dennis Quaid was in Jaws 3. He played the eldest son. Well, there you go. See, I was right. So I was telling Dennis, there's this podcast I listen to now, and it's on YouTube, and it's called, I want to make sure I get it right. It's called The Offensive Line, hosted by Annie Agar, and it's all football stuff. And she's great. She, I guess, became popular doing these shorts on Facebook and stuff. And she does them throughout the year, and they're just hysterical. She's just a great writer. So now she does a weekly podcast. She always has a guest on the show. I told Dennis, you should watch this. They're only about a half hour long. And one reason to watch it is, when it's a chick hosting a podcast about the NFL and she's cute, I'm going to watch it. But Dennis has more incentive. She's a Packers fan.
She's amazing. Now, I have not seen her new stuff, so Andy is sending me the link, and I will be giving that one a shot. And, hey, being a Packers fan, gotta love that. Love it. But, man, I watched some of her, I think they were reels and stuff on Facebook last year. My God, I had tears in my eyes on some of it. She's just funny. It's good writing. She knows her football stuff. So, yeah, this will be...
she does. And she thinks Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are just going to be an absolute train wreck this year.
Good. I can't wait to see it because I'm kind of thinking she might not be wrong on that one.
And she's looking at the Bears having a good season with Caleb Williams.
I'm not sold on Caleb.
She's Vanessa. Yes, that's who I was thinking of. Thanks, Arter Boy. She thinks her and her host, or not host, but her guest today both think, of course, the Packers will make the playoffs. Of course, she was a little sad that Aaron Rodgers has only made one Super Bowl. It was so long ago. As she put it in her own words, she still has the jersey, but it was so long ago, it looks like a hand-me-down from her dad's now.
Oh, see, we are a very inclusive show. We don't mind anybody, no matter what. Look at that. We have a Bears fan in the house. Andy has been busy working on his Bears stuff.
That's right. Still working on it. Got to work on it, get it done and stuff. So, so just wanted to update you on that. It's called The Offensive Line. If you're into football, it's a 1 day a week podcast. She drops on Wednesdays. It's only a half hour long. So give it a listen. I think you guys will like it. Joe says it's almost time for NFL season and Brock Purdy and the gold standard to take the title. I'm trying to remember what they said. It wasn't this week they were talking about the Niners. I think they are predicting a Niners NFC championship game again. I don't know if they're talking Super Bowl crap yet because it's just too early.
I don't know. They could. I could see the Niners making it to the NFC championship. And,
right.
When the Packers knock them out this year and go on, it'll be a sad day for Joe.
Well, I mean, as she said on the podcast today, all her Packers memories are of San Francisco beating them. So
she probably does have that back when Colin Kaepernick was a thing.
Yeah.
Not
the Packers beating the Niners. The Niners beating the Packers all the time.
That was Kaepernick when they knocked us out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Other than that really, it's not like that's a big thing.
Yeah, Hard Knocks is with the Bears. I might actually watch it. I got to go back though. I haven't watched it since the beginning because I thought they were doing the Bears in season like they started doing. So I might have to go back and watch it. Paul Taylor says, I like when they had computers predicting the Stanley Cup champion. The computer picked the regular season leaders and both went out in the first round.
That's why
exactly.
you play the game. Yep, I agree.
Any given Sunday, damn it, I will rise up like a phoenix with my shitty
Oh, God.
fantasy
Here we go.
team.
Yes, we had our fantasy draft.
I will
Andy's
rise like a phoenix.
laughable.
I got a D.
You did.
I thought it was good because I thought they graded on names. And since Dennis is supposedly such a great name, I was like, oh, I got a good score. Little did I know.
Yep. You are looking at one of two. I got an A+. I got like the dream team that I picked. Hopefully, here's the problem. Whenever I get really good teams, half of them get injured in the first couple of weeks, and I'm down to second stringers for the rest of the season. So I did. My sister-in-law, she got an A+. I got an A+. We were the only ones. Now, my wife, however, did get an F. She got the bottom of the barrel this year, but she had a very unique strategy.
Not surprising with her fantasy pick strategy, why she did. Tell them.
Her first three players, their names started with J.A. So she decided, oh, that's a coincidence because, as you're picking, you list your team, you can see them on the side. She goes, I kind of like that. There's a reason. So she literally picked the bulk of her team, started with J.A., exactly. Although a few of them were just J's. It was really funny. And yeah, she got an F. However, I have seen people with Fs before go in and turn it around. I think this is what, our 13th?
I don't think she's going
Amish Ninja would know. I think it's 13th or 14th season in this league right now. So you never know what's going to happen, particularly in the playoffs.
I don't think she's going to turn it around. Just saying.
Wow.
Just saying. But we do have a comic topic we can talk about. By the way, I did message Art. I sent him the link earlier. He gave me a thumbs up emoji. I thought, great, he's going to be on time. Obviously, he's not. I sent him a message before the stream saying, showtime, 2 minutes before the stream. Nothing. Hopefully, Art's okay and he didn't take a
watches or phones. Art is still on sundials. So, it could be cloudy by there. So he might be having a difficulty realizing what time it is.
Oh, yeah, Valentina. There you go. Well, I didn't know either. It begins with a V. What's up, Chris? All right. So, Art will get in here. Hopefully he didn't take a tumble down the steps. That can happen when you have hips like he does. What? I wish him the best.
Should we be worried? Art is like super old.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't want to slum it.
I don't want to give him any bad.
No. He's been excited because he hasn't been on.
I don't want to give him any bad juju or anything, but he was excited to come on. We're going to talk about his art book and just other things. But until he does, because he'll be here, I have faith. We'll talk about this. Independent horror comics are gaining popularity. Now, for those that don't know, Dennis has basically ditched all the Marvel and DC stuff to the wind. The only books he buys these days are either crowdfunded or independent stuff. And I know he's gotten some of the horror stuff. I get independent stuff as well, but it's still, Space Ghost, stuff like that. G.I. Joe, Transformers. I let Dennis really dive in on this type of stuff. And if he tells me it's good, I might delve into the trade paperback. So we'll talk about this article. Dennis is getting some books out for show and tell.
Yeah, I got one that I'll talk about. Well, let's go to it. Yeah. Because one of them came out. So, this week, we were talking about a number of genres. Sci-fi is a pretty strong genre. Fantasy is really strong right now. But we are seeing a resurgence in horror comics right now. Actually,
now, for those that thought Dennis said horror, he said horror comics.
Yeah, horror.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Horror comics.
Horror comics are something totally different. I drew those for Penthouse. We're talking scary thriller horror.
Yeah, and I got a couple of them. I say there were a couple of them that came out, but in this one, they're talking about the popularity and how it's starting to come back. Everything in entertainment and comics is no different. It's cyclical.
Right.
So, with this one, it hits like Image Comics' World Tree, which just finished off. They just finished that one off. I haven't even read the last issue yet, but I think I did the quick flip last week. Boom Studios did Something Is Killing the Children, have helped facilitate the trend. Skybound and Image Comics Universal Monsters miniseries and Oni Press's new EC Comics have also had an impact since entering the fray. And down below here, I'll just talk about within the sample horror comics, unit sales increased by 13% and dollar sales by 17%, performing even better than the comic books in general, which is really cool. So down here, it talks a little bit more. James Tinney and the Fourth's World Tree and Something Is Killing the Children, with both comics performing impressively in 2023 and 2024. The top 5 titles last year's summer were the 4 issues of World Tree and 1 of Something Is Killing the Children. And now it's talking about the recently released EC Epitaphs from the Abyss, #1.
Now, those are new stories, right?
This is.
Now, hold on before you show it, because I will full screen you. I just want to grab Lake.
Well, and then it says EC Cruel Universe Distillery, which is another group of independent comics creators that have gotten together, but they release them in large formats. And you can check out some of my quick flips on the DnA channel, and you can see the oversized one. They're a little more expensive, $8.99. But you know,
they're
it's
big.
cool. They're big, and you get to see the art. I just love seeing art in that size.
So Lake Kick asked, did I know on Audible there's an audio book on EC Comics? So I assume you mean it's about, the creation of EC Comics. Well, I did not know that. I will check it out. But the bigger question is, because I'm cheap as hell, is it free? Because that's what it comes down to. If it's free, I'll definitely check it out. Paul Taylor says, I once bought a Witching Hour or House of Secrets, had a guy on a spaceship running from a vampire. The ship had an explosion and it formed a cross picture, which killed the vampire. Oh, I have a few House of Mysteries, House of Secrets. I bought them because of either, I think, Alex Toth or Neil Adams did some art. Then there was also Mystery in Space. That wasn't really horror. I think the last one I bought from DC was damn it, I'm blanking on who wrote it. Stuart Immonen drew it. Oh man. It begins with a P. Damn it. I got you into it as well, but God, that was a while ago. But I know one Dennis is going to show. Wait. EC Comics presents The Vault of Horror is on Audible. And Bloody Drake says, no, it's like a radio drama of the episode. Oh, all right. I will have to check that out. Thank you, guys. I love listening to stuff when I work. So I will check that out. I'm going to show this one because this is one I'm actually buying right now. Let's solo this. So Plastic. Now, this is the second one. This is, it's the 3rd issue, but it's Plastic, Death and Dolls. This is actually the prequel to the book Plastic that came out before, and it talks about he's a serial killer, but this is when he was a teenager and his first kills and stuff. Great stuff written by buddy Doug Wagner.
It's great stuff.
The art is really good by Daniel Hilliard, and he also did a book called Plush
and Vinyl.
And it's all like thriller serial killer stuff. So not necessarily horror, but that's where I'll hold this up. But you can talk about this one because I don't know anything about it. This, I assume, comes into play.
Yeah, it does. So that's actually issue #2. Issue #1 came out, and that was what they were referencing in the article. And Epitaphs from the Abyss. So they are going back to, they've gotten the rights now for the EC stuff, and which is really cool. The old horror books and stuff like that are just awesome. I really love the cover on that one. And along the EC lines here, I will show you guys something real quick.
Right.
I just popped the link in.
The EC comics say they're free for me, but I am a subscriber. Well, I'll check it out. Yeah, that was a good cover. Yeah, I think my credit is up today, so I'll be getting something new. Oh, that's cool. And real quick, hold on. 13 episodes, some are 1 minute to 45 minutes. Oh, they are free. All right, I'll definitely check those out. Listen to them before I go to bed at night. Get all scared. Make my wife have to cuddle.
Yeah, so I picked up some really cool EC. These came out in 1982. I'll actually go back here and let you guys see. There's a couple of them. The EC ones, it's the weird science fantasy, and then it's the incredible science fiction. These two both came in.
Hi, everybody. This is Dennis. I'm going to be doing a full review of the
slipcase and everything like that. This is really cool because it reprints all the ones from back in the 50s and stuff, and it's great. I wound up getting signatures from, a lot of the original creators are on the inside books. EC stuff is really cool. And, like you said, you can see them reprinting it. Oni Press, I was trying to remember who got it. It was either them or Mad Cave Studios got it. But I've got both of these. You can watch the quick flips. Well, these are full reviews, actually. You can go through and check out the original artwork and everything that's in it. So if you just go in and onto the DnA page, you'll be able to go in and you can either scroll to them, or if you just type in EC, you can see it in there. It'll pull up, or you can go into my full reviews. They're all in my my
Well,
playlist.
why don't you
and
share
stuff.
a quick flip since you got the screen share? They're only a minute. Let's see.
Oh, these aren't quick flips. Those are full reviews.
No, I thought you said you did a quick flip.
No, I said I made a mistake. It was full reviews.
Oh, well,
yeah,
you could play it faster with no sound.
I mean, I can go through and here, let me do that.
People might just want to see it. If you want to hear his lovely voiceover, you can go watch it.
Yeah. So like this one, you can see they got the signatures and stuff with it that was in there. There were, and I knew most of them. It was really cool that's in there. But as you go through, you can check out some of the old stories. I'm just going to flip through them really quick because you guys can go through.
I mean, I will say he got these books for a freaking steal from a buddy of ours.
I would not say a steal.
He got these books at a discounted rate from a buddy of ours. How's that? He got these books for
paid market rate
from a buddy. Well, from a dealer, because
guys, it was a couple $100.
A buddy would have gave him a deal. Just saying.
No, I'm not going to take it. Hey, I got these from our big buddy, and I actually tell him in there, this is Big Carl. I paid him a couple $100 for this set. He had all the EC. He had all the horror ones, all the science fiction, the true detective ones, all the hardcovers. They had reprinted them. It was great. I don't have that kind of money. I'm not Andy. I can't go whipping out and buying that kind of stuff. So I picked up my favorite out of the lot, which really is, for me, the science fiction, the science fantasy ones. But I'm telling you, whatever genre you wanted in EC, he had in there. And
this stuff is freaking great. Black and white. You got Wally Wood, just a host of great artists in these things. Maybe some Reed Crandall. These books are just gorgeous, and they're oversized. And for your information, when I whip it out, there's only two things that I get last for that I whip out: my wallet and my little Andy, and that's it. One doesn't have money, and the other one, well, you get the idea. So, these books are great. I was a little jealous, and then he told me what he paid for them. And I remember back then thinking, oh, yeah, I'm not that jealous.
But think about what, I paid a couple $100 for it, but you know what? Look at what the original copies, even lower grade ones, they go for quite a lot. And now for me, this is great. But EC, the reason I bring that up is because EC is becoming very popular again.
Yep.
And with Oni Press getting the rights to it, so they're creating their new EC line of comics.
See, I wonder if
it's
they're
really
gonna,
cool stuff.
I wonder if they have the rights. Does that mean they should do reprints of this stuff again?
Well, now,
or maybe facsimile editions of some of the real popular issues.
But that we do not know, and I did try to look it up. So if you guys know anything more about it, they have the rights to use the logo and to create new ones with their old type of titles and stuff. And I see they're, coming next month, Nothing Can Prepare You, an entertaining comic, and it's Cruel Universe. And so they're advertising. EC is all over in here. Now, I do not know if they have the rights just to make new stories using it, or if they have any rights to their old stuff.
But that is a good question. Who owns EC now? I mean, you would think it'd be somebody in the Gaines family, but I don't even know who, I know nothing about Will Gaines' family, the guy that started it, to know if there was any. Oni Press, right. That's what we're talking about. They're publishing it now.
Right.
But we don't know if they obviously just have a licensing agreement with whoever does have the rights to the EC.
Yeah, this brings
stuff.
up an interesting, question. Do they have the rights to their older stuff or just creation of the new stuff?
If they can reprint older stuff, I think like every company has key issues, even Atlas Comics. There's key issues. Now, that doesn't mean they're worth reprinting, but EC Comics for sure, taking some of the main key issues and doing facsimile editions of those, I'd be all over that. Big time. Or if they did these, like Dennis is flipping through here, as a trade paperback or something, just smaller size, or an omnibus or something.
I think they did trades at one time, softcover trades. I don't see them out in the wild very often. And that's why when I saw Carl having these really nice hardcovers, and they come in a great slipcase and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's worth it. And they were very expensive when they came out too.
Bloody Drake says Dark Horse is still publishing the trades, so that means Dark Horse can do that stuff, and their deal with EC might just be new stuff. Let's see, they're just coming out. Volume 4 is the current of the horror through. Okay, there you go. I should really look at those and pick some of those up. It's tough. I don't know what you guys think about reading this stuff, but horror to me, I flipped through the EC one Dennis has here. And yes, it's horror, but I just think it's harder to do. Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say for me, good horror has to be a movie. I haven't really read many horror comics that I'm like, oh, that just scared me to death. Oh my God. Even that one, Plunge, that was it. See, ADHD guys, be so glad you don't have it. Plunge, that was the DC one. Do you remember it now?
Yes.
The Plunge, Stuart Immonen. I don't know who wrote it. That was a horror book, very well drawn, but I like jump scares. Ask Dennis. I've jumped into his lap many times watching movies.
Actually, watching Alien Romulus last week, they had one really good jump scare, and I will say it wasn't just Andy. There were quite a few in the theater that jumped really high.
That's right. Some of us actually have nerves and feelings, unlike Stone Cold over here, who it's like, oh, I have no feelings. Why would that make me jump at all?
Well, I have feelings. It just doesn't scare me. What's interesting, though, I kind of agree. Comics is a little bit harder if you're going for the horror that is going to make you scared or jump out.
Right.
And because, on the screen, it's one thing because there's music and sound versus you have to do it on a page turn. So, and then, on the page turn, if you come out and look, you'll be like, okay.
Well, and that's why, I used to read horror novels. And I think the novels work better because it's what your imagination paints the picture as from what you're reading. And sometimes the thing with comics is, at least for me, maybe it's because I'm an artist, I have no idea. It takes the art has to be not good from a technical standpoint, but really compelling and paced well for it to work. I thought the Plunge did a pretty good job. Looking through some of the EC stuff in there, like I said, I haven't read it. Maybe I will, but none of the art really jumped out at me like, oh, this is I don't know, going to scare me or whatever.
See, World Tree, I enjoyed World Tree. I really can't wait to see how that ends now that I have it. Plastic. Now, all of the ones that
that's not
that he does, they,
it's not. I wouldn't call Seven a horror movie, and it's a thriller, serial killer thriller.
Yeah, but that's really not a thing in comic books.
Yeah, yes, it is. You can do true crime in comics.
It's not true crime, but you're saying a serial
but it's still crime.
Thriller.
What? Still no art? I walked away for 10 minutes. I know. We're gonna have to do a whole new thumbnail and stuff for the show. EC had standard panel grid size, so stories aren't dynamic. Oh, it doesn't. No, I think the EC stuff was actually really good. I haven't read a lot of it.
Here's the thing,
but
from when the EC stuff was written in the 50s,
right,
and you're putting this stuff down on paper, there wasn't TV stuff. This was more of their imagination going through it, and it was shocking in comic books. It really was shocking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And whereas today, we're all so used to it in our culture. We see it on TV. We go to the movies. It's in comics. It's in everything that we do. So they're always having to one-up it. Sometimes in order to get a better horror film, they add more blood and stuff like that. Well,
and then it just
we're
gets
desensitized to it. So it's a hard genre to do.
The cover that started the whole Senate hearing things, right? The Wortham stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what cover it was?
No.
Correct me in the chat, but the EC comic, I can't remember the title, but the cover image that got everybody worked up to where it went up to DC and stuff for those hearings was the close-up of the dude's hand holding a decapitated head, and there was a bloody axe and stuff. And that was on the cover.
Yeah.
And it was a chick.
Well, right. But again, think about it. There's an entire generation now. I'm from the original Dungeons and Dragons role-playing genre, right? Well, there's a whole new one, my kids are playing, and you are seeing with all these different demons and things like that are out there.
Yeah.
There is just so much out there. It's just hard to write horror in comic book form, but like everything, people are starting to come back because it's something different that they weren't doing.
Well, take it to the movie thing we were talking about, right? We're so desensitized. You and I have both watched each of the Terrifier movies, right?
Yeah.
The Clown.
Yes.
I got to be honest. And they weren't in theaters, so we didn't watch them together. He watched it as I watched it, and we talked about it. I didn't jump. I wasn't scared because, to me, and I'm sure some people would watch it, be like, "Oh my God, that is a horror movie," but it was just more of a over-the-top gore fest.
Yep.
I'll be honest. I thought Blair Witch was a scarier horror film than either of the Terrifiers was. And then what came out after Blair Witch? And I don't know if you've seen I'm sure you have. Remember the first Paranormal?
Oh, I own
movies?
them all. Oh yeah, my daughter loves those.
Yeah, but those went downhill.
Yeah,
it took a while, but the first one was fantastic.
We just watched it with my niece. She got to see it for the first time. Yeah, and Blair Witch with my nephew, and she loved it. It was cool stuff. But look at Saw, the Saw movies. First one, it was shocking. It was different. Oh, yeah. Let's play a game. Wow. And each of them had their ups or downs. but the first one was very shocking. And then you had The Purge. Remember The Purge? Again, the first one, it's got a unique concept.
But see, that I have a hard time, and I'm sure that was classified as a horror movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See, I just have a hard time classifying The Purge as a horror movie because to me, it was just more of a thriller, you know, because you knew, like, to me, a horror movie still leaves you questioning stuff, you know, like Friday the 13th. Yeah, you knew it was Jason and whatever. And on Halloween, you know, it was Michael Myers, but it was just the creepiness of it. And
I mean, Freddy Krueger
and stuff.
I mean, Freddy Krueger was
a horror movie.
Was one of the creepiest because of all the things, and it was in the dreams.
But
it was a cool take.
But The Purge to me is like, I mean, right up front, they're like, okay, for 24 hours, everything's legal. Have fun. It's The Purge, and it's like, okay, there's gonna be killing in this movie. I just didn't look at that and even watch it with that lens of this is a horror movie.
But then today you've got one like Terra and you know, some of these new ones that they came out, the Ouija board one. And you know,
but I say I wouldn't even watch the Ouija board.
You know, it's the genre. You have to really outdo yourself to make a splash for that kind of a genre versus say science fiction. And science fiction, you can come up with all new technologies and worlds and reasons behind it so much easier than how are you going to scare somebody? You know, oh, the dreamscape stuff, that's all been done. And, you know, it's just a difficult, but I'm always for if people come up with something really cool and different.
Well, I mean, what was the one? You'll remember the title of it. It was, I think it was A24 with the Late Show host. We just saw it in the past few months.
Yeah, the devil
something.
It's the late night show one.
Yeah, we reviewed it. It's the late night host. He's kind of a Johnny Carson type in the 70s. That was a horror movie.
Yes, and it was cool.
And it was different.
On a low budget because it was very retro.
And it was different. And I think we both gave it good reviews, you know, high ratings and stuff because it was different. It wasn't a run of the mill. You know, Alien Romulus, when we reviewed it, you know, going into it, we didn't know if we were going into the alien that's more sci-fi, because that's kind of what it went to, or were we going into an alien horror movie? Well, it turned out, in my opinion, this was definitely a horror movie, not just a sci-fi.
It was more in the vein of the original Alien, and with a lot of, you know, because once again, just like the original Alien, you were trapped in a confined space with an unknown entity, and you have to escape and try and get out, which is really cool. And they did a good job with it.
The Saw is a part of me. I'm going to make it a part of you. That's okay. You keep it. You know, I think there's another Saw movie in production right now.
You know, that was another one where Saw 10.
Okay.
But now that one actually kind of brought it full circle, went back to the origins, and it was actually a good one. It's like the Screams, you know, again, that's more of a horror levity, but it's actually pretty cool. I did enjoy the Scream ones, and like Scream 1 was great, Scream 2, then they go downhill. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they come back and once again bring it full circle, make it meaningful. And the last, I think it was Scream 6, was solid.
Well, guys, we got some other news we can drop. No, Art is not here. It is about one of Dennis's favorite franchises.
And yours.
Try not to cry.
You used to.
Guys, Disney officially reboots Star Wars after string of disasters, removes sequels from canon. What? That means all those 3 movies with Rey and stupid Luke and whatnot are basically not in canon. They never had. What? Trying to get over so I can scroll down here. This is a problem when you're there. It is.
Yeah, the Star Wars sequel trilogy continues to be the most widely hated entry in the franchise. Although the Disney Plus series, The Acolyte, certainly gave it a run for its money. Actually, it succeeded, and we'll be talking about that probably in a little bit because we do not have to suffer. And I bet many of you did not suffer through it. I took the bullet for you guys. I watched The Acolyte. It's seriously one of that and Borderlands, hands down the worst thing I've seen in the last couple of years.
Borderlands was so bad. I just read today that they're pulling it from theaters and just going to go streaming with it.
They are.
And that movie's on. We saw it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 21 days after it's going to be streaming.
I think it's
that.
Made, I think
that
it's
is
made,
a record.
It's made 90 million worldwide, I think, or something.
It was terrible. Yeah, it was for a reason. In fact, Star Wars had a lot more misfortunes in recent year. Even putting the sequels aside, Disney Plus shows like The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, and The Acolyte might collectively have done even more damage than the films. And guys, that's a part that I probably agree with. The films, I watched them once and I'm like, oh, don't really need to see them again. Actually, I didn't buy any of them. I bought every Star Wars, every Star Trek, all the Galactica stuff. I own the series. Yeah, I'm done. I have not bought any of those movies. I did not. The first one was okay. It was mildly entertaining. But yeah, the rest of it.
I didn't care anything about those 3 sequels with Rey. Joe says, now the Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney, anyone but you, and great parts to it. Or had great parts to it, I'm assuming you mean. I should actually watch that. You know that Sydney Sweeney, they're talking about as Black Cat in Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I was going to say, I would not be opposed to that.
If Spider-Man Peter Parker doesn't dump MJ for that, then he's crazy. Then I guess that is true love. But yeah, so they're dumping these out of canon, apparently. It'll be interesting to see what they do when they move forward. I thought they were just lame. People really want to see, if they were going to do sequels, they wanted to see more stuff, if possible, with their original characters. Now, obviously, if they do sequels,
or at least make them good.
Make them good.
So the point of The Acolyte is they created the High Republic because they didn't want to go and have to pay royalties for the Knights of the Old Republic if you wanted to do something different. And they created this new universe, which is fine. But then, they had to do some really dumb stuff to it, trying to tease people, and they had agendas. And it was, even with all of that, if it would have been written well and made sense, okay, but it wasn't. It was absolutely terrible. Book of Boba Fett, was meh at best. Obi-Wan Kenobi was even less meh.
Well, Book of Boba Fett, any of the Boba Fett stuff was hard for me to watch because you knew none of the stakes were that high in the series, even though they tried to make him that way, because he's not going to die.
Yep.
Yep.
And
I'm just like, why would I care?
But it wasn't that great. And Ahsoka, which was Dave Filoni's baby, Ahsoka comes out, and I love Rosario Dawson, so I thought that was really good. And again, they have to stretch it out so much. It was so boring, and I love her as an actress, but boy, that was it wasn't written well for her. The long stairs, it was awful. Galactic Star Cruiser. Can't have it about anything of, Luke and the Skywalker trilogy stuff. No. We've got to go Rey. Yeah, that closed after a year. And it was awful. I did know a number of people who spent that kind of money, and did not enjoy it at all. Thought it was a big ripoff. So kind of glad I didn't do it.
We got a question. What website is this that I got here with the Acolyte? I can't read it from back here.
Oh, the one we're on?
Yeah.
It's InsideTheMagic.net.
InsideTheMagic.net. Inside the Magic, also name of a porn film, probably. Should be. If it's not, I'm now saying it will be.
Well, I was actually trying to find, they broke down, Disney of all people released the numbers of how bad The Acolyte. And I think it was for them to realize, to finally show this is what Kathleen Kennedy has done. And it is not only the lowest rated Disney Star Wars show on Disney Plus, it was by a long shot. Acolyte had half the viewership, I think it was, of Andor, which wasn't all that great. And yet it was $180 million production budget. And guys, they have literally driven a stake into Star Wars.
See, in Acolyte, I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. I'm, I don't know. I think I'm like most of the population where it's like they've seen them. And I'm talking about the original 3 and they enjoyed them. And if they're on, they'll watch them, whatever. But I've seen all the movies. Like I said, I don't really care about any of them that much. I've seen the shows. I did not watch The Acolyte. I just had no interest. And my daughter was like, come on, you got to watch it with me. I'm like, I don't care. You can watch it. I just don't care. And then, he watched it and he was telling me some of the stuff they did in it, which just contradicted stuff apparently that they already did.
It broke canon.
Right. It broke canon, which is like, what do you, it's the whole thing of just going, I don't need to know that much about this to write it. It's like,
Rogue One. So Chris, I agree. Rogue One was probably the best one since Disney took it over that they have put out. Rogue One, I enjoyed. I thought the story was solid. The acting was good. You know what? And he says, keep that. Yep. I would keep Rogue One. Of course.
Yeah, but
I don't remember if I bought Rogue One.
But Rogue One ties in with the other 2, doesn't it? So how do you just keep the one?
Well, no. It doesn't tie in. It really is because it's all part of.
But wasn't it a new trilogy where it was?
No,
Rogue One wasn't part of.
No, Rogue One is where we get from the original Star Wars the answers to the Bothans, how they got the plans and got it to Princess Leia.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah, you're thinking of something different.
I'm thinking something. Yeah, Rogue One was good. I remember that now because it had CGI Leia.
It really had the best 5 minutes of Darth Vader kicking the hell out of everybody.
No, I remember
in all of Star Wars.
It had because at the end was the CGI Leia, right? Where they handed off the plans to her. Yeah, no, you're right. Rogue One.
Oh, yeah. See, Chris, last 5 minutes made. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Best 5 minutes of Star Wars. And then the one thing in Mandalorian, when Luke shows up and he has that really cool fight with the Dark Troopers, that was a really good, good 5 minutes of Star Wars. But they've had it for how many years now? And I can say we've got Rogue One and maybe 5 minutes of good Star Wars. Yeah.
So he says Mando season 1 and 2. I like Mandalorian, but Dennis told me that in season 3, what's his face there? Reed Richards, who's the actor that plays him? Mando.
Oh, Pedro Pascal.
Pedro's not even going to be in it.
Yeah, guys, it looks like from what I've heard, Pedro's not going to be in it because it's going to be the Bo-Katan season upcoming. And he is under contract to play it unless he has a conflict schedule. And apparently he goes, oh yeah, I'm filming something. Yeah, there's no way for me to do it, which is a really nice way of saying, look, I'm behind a mask. You can get anybody to play it. It's her show now, not mine. So have at it. I'm going to go over here and film because I have something else to do. That's the way we kind of interpreted it, and good for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, there's also a thing for me that the amount of time between seasons, let me know if any of you guys are like this, that you just lose. Like, he's already binged Cobra Kai season.
Oh, yeah.
5, right?
Yeah, five,
part
whatever
1, whatever it is. I have yet to watch an episode of it. Now,
I enjoyed it. Loved Cobra Kai.
He's saying it's good. I probably will. I'm just not because it took so long. Stranger Things season 5. Am I going to watch it? Yeah, because I like Stranger Things. Yep. But I'm telling you, the longer it is, the more I'm just like, it's out.
So guys, I got to hit up with a new show, and I want to know if you guys have been watching it. I didn't even know about this. It was off. My brother and I were talking yesterday, and he goes, "Oh yeah, because I had just watched Fly Me to the Moon. Really enjoyed that. I'm going to make sure Andy watched it. We'll have to do a review on it. Really enjoyed it." But my brother goes, "Oh, if you like that, have you been did you watch or are you watching For All Mankind?" And I was like, "For All Mankind, don't know anything about it. I've never even seen a trailer for it." And it takes place during the space race. It's on Apple TV. And it's a what if, like Man in the High Castle, how that was a World War II what if. That's what this is what if we weren't the first ones to land on the moon, which kicks off an entire whole new series of events, and they have archival footage of the Nixon administration, Kennedy stuff. They really do a good job. And I'm like, didn't hear about it. I watched the first 3 episodes. I'm hooked. I guess it's still running. I've never heard of it. So let me know what you guys thought.
I'm going to give it a shot because of
it was
that's
good.
in it. Who's the actor again that you said that's in it?
Joel Kinnaman.
Oh, Joe Kinnaman. I love that dude. Is great.
Yep.
And because he told me, he goes, and there's 5 seasons. I'm like, oh my God, 5 seasons to catch up on. I don't know. And then he mentions Joel Kinnaman, and I'm like, now you got me. I like that guy. I'll give it a watch.
I'll actually recreate. Andy, you need to watch this one. It's really good. At least it's starting out really good. And he goes, how long? How many seasons? I'm like, 5. Nope. I'm out. Literally just like that. And I'm like, but it's good. Nope. That's too much. I'm like, but Joel Kinnaman's in it. Who's he? He's the star. He's one of the astronauts. Oh, damn it.
Right. And I like that. And then a new show that came out last week, new episode tonight, with Vince Vaughn called Bad Monkey.
Bad Monkey.
Which is based on a Carl Hazan, I screwed up his name, novel. Is really good. Takes place in the Florida Keys. That's where most of Carl's novels take place. And Vince Vaughn plays a suspended detective. And it brings back the Vince Vaughn we all know and love from the first movies of his, like Swingers. Quick, witty banter, great dialogue, really good characterization. 2 episodes in. I'm really liking it. So this is funny, guys. So at 3:03, here, I'll read these. I sent Art the link at 7:08 a.m. and said, see you at 3 p.m. Eastern. At 2:10, I got the thumbs up emoji. 3:03, I text him, showtime. At 4 o'clock, I get the thumbs up emoji. I wrote him back and said, was an hour ago.
I was going to say.
He knows I'm Eastern.
Even if it was, and he thought it was wrong.
Knows I'm Eastern.
He would still be on. Even if he was an hour off, he still would have been in the back room like 10 minutes ago.
Yes.
So, yeah.
He knows we're Eastern time. I said it at 7 o'clock this morning. Oh, Art.
So I guess we have no Art. So all of you that were tuning in to talk to Art and see him, apparently that'll have to be another week because he fell asleep behind the wheel.
I'm going to paddle him when I see him in person, and I'm not kidding. I'm going to grab a paddle. I'm going to make him go get a switch from his own yard, just like my dad made me. Next time, you have to give him PST. Well, no, he's not in the West Coast. That wouldn't work. If I did that, he'd still be off. So...
3-hour window.
No, I think he's Texas. I think he's an hour behind.
Telling you, it's that sundial watch that he uses.
I know.
Oh, I think I got an hour.
It was cloudy out today, so he never even, he couldn't tell what time it was. But you know what time it is, guys? It's Kor-Drath, Christmas Miracle. That's right. It's a children's book. 24 great pages of story and 28-page book in full. Look at that. $1,599, 36 backers. Guys, 4 of you guys right now. If you're a fan of my art, if you're a fan of Dennis's writing, if you're a Kor-Drath fan, you need this book. Yes, it's a children's book. What does that mean? It means I'm drawing it in a simpler style, but a fun style, as you can see by the cover and some of the interior pages right here. And it's just a nice little quaint story, holiday story for this Christmas. Kor-Drath has to go out and find the perfect gift for Adriana and get it to her by Christmas Day. Can he do it? Well, pick up the book, read the adventure, and find out if he does and what he gets her. There's also a 38-page activity book, the whole story printed in black and white so you can read it. All the text is there. And color it with more pages of activities like connect the dots, crossword puzzles, word searches, and more. And of course, there's an adult version for all you guys that like the Kor-Drath stuff where he kills things with his weapons and there's blood. On the left, you can see him talking to the nice friendly bear. That's the kids' version. On the right, he dispatches the bear in his own Kor-Drath way. So same story, different art throughout the book to give you a different feel. We got a super chat here from Paul Taylor, $10. If you need topics, we can talk about Cockrum and Grell doing the Legion of Superheroes. I love that run. We can talk about that one week. I have some of those. I don't have them all. I love the Dave Cockrum designs, and I really thought Grell was hitting on all cylinders there.
I do love the fact that he goes, if you need topics. You know, the funny thing is, we just planned on having Art on. That's what the plan was. And we always have a couple of things we might want to talk about, like the Star Wars stuff and that kind of things. But, you know, that might just fill 5-10 minutes. But apparently we just have to have plans for Art. So you guys, if next time you're on the stream, just let him know he ditched us.
Just make sure you tweet at him.
Make it
Art,
make him feel bad. We showed up to talk to you.
Hashtag Art, where were you? Torchbearer says maybe Art is really salty about losing on the professional quiz show. Maybe. I mean, I did beat him. I was losing hard at first, dude. Big time.
So who won?
Big time. Bill. Oh my God. I'm going to fill Dennis in on this. So guys, real quick, go back this book and I'll fill Dennis in. You guys can regale on this story as well. So go back. Kor-Drath, the Christmas Miracle. Seriously, I'm getting the files ready for the printer. We're going to figure out our print numbers and go to print with this puppy. So go back that today. Dude, oh my God. This is just so wrong, Dennis. I think you'll agree too.
Okay.
So there's always the last topic, the last subject you can pick for questions is always the big one. It's worth 10 points.
Yep.
However, if you get it wrong, you lose 10 points.
Right.
So you got to go in with a big
final. Yeah, it's
balls.
Aaron's Final Jeopardy.
Right. But you don't have to take it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
The subject, the title was pirates. That's all.
Okay.
So I'm like, what? So Billy dives in first. He's got 8 points.
Yep.
Right. And obviously you wait till the game's almost over.
So he's 8 points. Did that put him in the middle, bottom?
He's right around middle bottom.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So he needs some points.
Yep.
So first question, and this isn't the one I'm bagging on because I didn't even know the answer to this. Who was originally offered the role to play Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean?
You know, I watched a whole thing on it. Tom Cruise.
Nope, Jim Carrey.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't have got that. Don't remember that even being part of it.
Yep. Jim Carrey was originally supposed to do it. So Art writes back and go, it's 3 here. Oh, you mean 3 Eastern? Yeah, dude, that's what I posted originally. So that was that, right? So now he's down -2 points. So you're like, all right, Billy, you lost. And it always comes down to Billy and Graham. One of those guys is going to win the damn thing, right?
Yep.
So I'm doing well. I got I think I finished out with 17 or 18 points.
Okay.
So I'm doing really well. But there's no way I'm going with a pirate question. I don't know any of that shit.
Yeah.
Right. So Billy does ask a question, another question from it, and he gets 8 points. Okay.
Okay.
So now he's got 8. He gets 10, but he was -2, so he's back to 8.
Okay, he's positive.
Right. So now he asks another question. He goes for pirates again.
Oh,
Right? And the question is, who were the most famous female pirates? There's 2 of them. You get 10 points for each one. Right? And I'm like, what? Dude, he doesn't skip a beat. He's like, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Boom, 28 points. Long story short, he won the fucking game.
well, you saved me having to go back and watch the professionals on replay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Billy won the game. Graham came in. Graham, I would have been second. Oh no. Graham has to dive in. I had like 18. Graham had, I think, 16.
And he got a pirate one?
He goes for pirates. What was shit? I don't even remember the pirate. I'm just going to say Blackbeard. What was Blackbeard's real name? And Aaron gives multiple choice.
Oh,
and he got it right.
Choice.
And he got it right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was 28 Billy, 26 Graham. I think I was third. And then I don't remember. I think Art and then Fraga. So
look at Paul. Oh, you must have watched it, or you're really good at
yes,
pirates.
That was
Edward
the name.
Teach.
That was the name, Edward Teach. And the funny thing is, one of them, the last name was one of the options, because he gave 3 options. One of the options was shit. It was the name of a liquor. I'm blanking on the name of the liquor though. But the last name was the name of a liquor, right? Okay. So I mean, I don't know anything about pirates, so I didn't say it out loud, but I got no problem admitting it. I thought, well, maybe it's that guy, because maybe the liquor's named after Blackbeard's real name. But no, it was not.
Oh,
so yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Sad.
So good. So what I'm hearing is good on Billy for being a pirate savant and knowing everything there is to know about pirates. Arr.
That's right. But you know what else you need to know about? It's Kor-Drath the Awakening. Dennis, give him a rundown about Kor-Drath the Awakening.
Kor-Drath the Awakening. Guys, this is the sequel, if you're new, many of you aren't, to Kor-Drath the Reckoning. So we're following it up. You get introduced to the big bad Vordoom, and now Kor-Drath and Adriana realize they're part of a bigger problem, a bigger scheme, peeling back the layers of this oniony story. And they must go out there and try and figure out where the next stone is and able to put it in the axe, because they've got undead coming. What's going to happen?
That's right. Kor-Drath's tribe, as you know, if you read The Reckoning, spoiler alert, was wiped out in the first book. He's the last remaining survivor of the Red Lions tribe. Now, with the help of Adriana and her tribe, can he and her tribe, the Black Eagles, fend off the evils of Vordoom the Undying, his legion of the undead, helmed by the Necronite and Lilneth? Guys, there's only one way to find out, and that's in Kor-Drath the Awakening. We got lots of great stuff here. New t-shirt. Of course, I'm wearing the old school Kor-Drath shirt. Dennis is wearing Lilneth by Bud Root. Adriana by Bud Root. The variant cover. New t-shirt. Go get that. Graphic novel. We got all the covers coming at you like the last campaign. My cover color by Dan Lawless. We got the preview pages up so you can get a sense of what's going on. We've got the homage cover, homaging, of course, Conan #2, because the first homage cover was Conan #1. The Adriana Bud Root cover, for your pleasure. Go check that out. The black and white line art cover, a black and white edition of the book that you can get and read. Thank you so much, Paul. Really, really appreciate that. And all you guys that have backed it and read the first one and are in on this one. A new game module. What's that all about, Dennis?
Well, guys, good timing, because I've been for the last couple of days hard at working out a new mechanic in the game for something cool. Demise and Dracomort. So one of the villages, it's going to be out in the woods, and yes, you'll see it on the map. there was a dragon, and a couple of generations ago, they got rid of the dragon. But haha, she had laid some eggs. She's got spawn that wound up coming back, and one of them is still angry about them taking out the mother and is now seeking revenge on the village. So a whole new story. Again, old school style role playing. The color is even very much like the D&D expert box set, the second module. Stakes are higher level characters, and but still the same good old school feeling. Now, just a quick side note, there's been a lot of stuff going on with the gaming stuff behind the scenes. I got some really cool news, and I'll probably wind up doing a stream specifically on it. But I have found out the Kor-Drath gaming system. I know what I'm going to be designing it in and with. So got the role-playing game all set out. So anyway, I will fill you guys in that in the very near future.
There you go. You can pick up a graded signed copy. Dennis and I will sign the main cover. Send it off to CBCS, your trusted name for grading and slabbing comics. And we know it'll be a 9.4 or above. We already got some 9.8s of The Reckoning and 9.4s. Or no, 9.8s, 9.6, and 9.9. So we know we'll get good grades on that. You can pick one of those up. Of course, the first stretch goal unlocked the Vordoom playable character cards. You can play them in the game. And if you picked up the first campaign, you got all 5 stretch goals featuring Kor-Drath, Adriana, Necronite, and Lilith playable character cards in a map of the Shattered Reach. The next stretch goal will be a print of Dan Lawless's colors over the magnificent Bart Sears line art for the game module cover. That is the next stretch goal at 60,000. A few great add-ons like Kor-Drath, The Awakening, the layouts. Every page I draw, I'm scanning before I ink it so you can see my layouts. Just a nice behind the scenes. I like to do that with every campaign. So there you go. Manga edition of The Reckoning, black and white manga size, a color digest version. Both of these are edited E for everyone. Make them kid friendly. If you got The Reckoning, you know what we're talking about. That is definitely a mature book. And then we've got the minifigure of Kor-Drath, 2-inch, 3-inch, 5-inch sizes to choose from. You can pick one of those up. And we are doing, that's right. And we're doing a collector box. You can order the box separately as an add-on, or if you go down to the tiers at the bottom, because they do low to high, you can get the, where is it? Oh, that's the big box. There it is, the Awakening box, which has all the variant covers, the game module, the Adriana trading card, and of course the collector box shipped in another box, so that collector box does not get messed up. And for people that might have missed the first campaign and want it all, we have a tier for that too. Every book that came with the first campaign, the game module, the Lilith trading card, all the stretch goals from that first campaign, and everything from this campaign in one box. Get it all and check it out. I just heard from Art. He thought we were the same time zone. We're not. I am going to have Art on next week show. He might even be considered a co-host because Dennis will not be here. He will be away on his 15th vacation of the year.
Yeah, I will not be here next week. So yeah, give you guys do join Andy next week to give Art crap for completely spacing out, even though it said 3 p.m. Eastern.
You'll see his thumbnail again. I might tweak it a little bit, but we will have to make a new one for this show. So there you go. It is good work if he can get it, right? I tell you, sometimes I call his wife Susie, and sometimes I call her Dennis's sugar mama. So, you know.
Hey, That's what allows me the time and energy to put together great gaming stuff for Kor-Drath and write more awesome Kor-Drath stories.
Like the Christmas Miracle. Go back both campaigns. Link is in the description below. Thank you for watching. We will catch you guys Friday with a movie review. We are seeing Blink Twice.
Blink Twice.
Channing Tatum thriller.
Yeah, we will see how this one turns out. I'm getting he's the Epstein kind of vibe on this island.
Oh.
We will find out if this is any good or not. We've been up and down. We've either gotten really good movies or we've gotten Borderlands. So I'll be curious to see which one we get tomorrow night.
All right, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe,
Live
and
long
share.
and prosper, everybody.
Woo!
An ancient evil awakened to slaughter his family. A mythical quest was revealed. Treacherous perils await. Lovers bound by destiny. Darkness gathers as a new game begins. One man's rage will shape worlds. Kor-Drath, the Awakening. Only on Indiegogo.